This video is sponsored by Aura. So the first one, we all know we can customize the control center, right? But if you didn't, just go to settings and then control center and add whichever you like there. When you swipe down from the top, you will see all kinds of icons you edit or were added by default. But did you know you can long press the timer, for example, to quickly set up a timer? You can swipe up here to increase the minutes or swipe down to decrease. Pretty cool, right? Well, it gets better. Long pressing the torch will allow you to increase the strength of it. So if you can't see anything while walking outside or just want more light, swipe up to increase its strength. Now you can finally leave your flashlight at home. Shazam is another one. Most of us had this app installed at one time in our life, but it's now built in. So how do you find out which songs you've discovered? Well, you'd never guess, but just long press it. Here you will find the entire Shazam history. You might also notice that I have the QR symbol here. And while it is handy, you could also use your regular camera to do that too. I'm sure you could come up with a lot more long press functions for different applications. So try a few and then come back to this video. While still in the control center swipe down menu, did you know that the top right changes when you're making a call? And that isn't without reason. You know, we've all been there, calling while walking in a busy street. Maybe you're calling in your car and you're driving on the highway. All of these things won't result in an easy to understand conversation. That's why Apple put in voice isolation mode.
So you can probably hear the background noise. But what if we switch on the voice isolation? Now, hopefully, you cannot hear the background noise anymore. It's that apparent.
Which you can now manually select from the top right menu. Why did Apple never tell us? The difference is very noticeable. Now this one is so handy. You know that when you're using the calculator and you make one mistake, you have to begin all over again? Well, you don't have to. When you made a mistake, you can just swipe left and it will delete one digit instead of everything pressing C. Thank me later. And while on the subject of the calculator, did you know that you can expand your options in the calculator when you turn your phone sideways into horizontal mode? You'll get the scientific calculator for whenever you need that. Now, something completely different and something you may never use, but if you're pushing 30 like I am, you will need this for sure. If you make a picture of washing labels on your clothing, you can actually select the laundry icon that will appear at the bottom. This will take you to unseen territory in Apple land, which will explain every icon you see on there. Let's say you have taken a series of photos and the light is just off, and you have made all kinds of edits, but you don't want to make that same edit 10 times over, or want it to be exactly like the first. Well, I've got good news for you. First, edit the photo, and then tap Done. Then tap the three dots at the top right and select Copy Edits. Then go to the photo you would like to have the same edits on and then tap 3 dots again in the top right corner. Then select Paste Edits. And ta-da! You won't have to waste your time on that no more. In the camera app, if you want to take a series of photos to capture that one moment, much like professional cameras can, just tap and hold the shutter button, but then swipe to the left a little. You will see it counting up. That number is how many shots you've taken. I'm also sure I'm not the only one that hates the fact that when you want to use the flash while taking a picture, tapping the flash icon just won't help. That's just on or off on automatic mode. If you want to manually select the flash, normally I tap this arrow and then finally all the options appeared. But one thing I didn't know was the fact that you can just swipe the bar here to achieve this very result. Much easier if you ask me. Did you know that in iMessage, you can send emojis or text with all kinds of special effects? You can send it with balloons, confetti, hearts, and even lasers. But also highlight and hide, or even screen text. Just type in whatever it is you want to say, and then instead of tapping the send button, hold it and select the effect. With the latest iOS, you can tap the plus icon to select whatever it is you want to send, right? But if you just want to go straight to the library, hold the plus button. You can then also pinch in and pinch out just like the regular photo library. I am feeling like I'm the only one that did not know about this, but apparently you can use the spacebar to control the cursor when you want to adjust something in text. I would just select it on the word itself, but it can be quite finicky. So using the spacebar to control it is much more accurate and easier as well. If you did not know this either, please comment I didn't, because it will make me feel a little better. We all have things we keep on typing all of the time, and that's just wasted energy, right? To avoid this, go to General, Keyboards, and then Text Replacement. Here, you can make your own shortcuts while typing, which will then be automatically replaced. You may have noticed that if you type OMW, it will change to On My Way. This is one of the default ones, but it can be whatever you want. Maybe your email address, when you type in CC, or part of the email, like thank you kindly for emailing us. Things like that. Oh, and make sure you make the phrase the end result and not the other way around. Otherwise it won't work. While we're here, make sure you plan a short visit to the camera settings too. Here you can mirror the front-facing camera pictures or don't. But if you're like me, you like the mirrored pictures better. Or at least that's what most of us are used to. You can do that manually too with every picture, but changing this might be a lot easier. Okay, make sure you grab some to drink, grab some to eat, because we still have a lot of good tips coming up. Here we go. If you want a specific app on the home screen, you would go to the app library, right? Well, this can be very annoying if you cannot find the app in question. Me personally, I've wasted a lot of time doing this. Well, what if I told you you can just swipe down from the middle, search for the app, and then drag it from there? Much easier and less time consuming. Closing apps is something I do very often too. Or selecting the app I need from there. But there is once again an easier way of doing things. If you have an app opened, you will always see this white or black bar at the bottom. You can swipe left or right to quickly jump to the last opened app, instead of selecting it from the bigger menu. This can be very helpful if you're comparing something or calculating something, etc. Whatever it may be, I will be using this one a lot. Reading long articles on the internet? Me too. But if you're at the bottom and you don't want to look like a fool scrolling up again, or just don't like wasting time, just tap once at the top or the dynamic island, and voila, you're back at the top again. You can use this trick for every page in Safari, but also on other apps. So it doesn't have to be a long article. It can be a page, a PDF, or even a Google search. Oh, and while we're browsing the internet, the problem of having too many tabs open will probably occur. Sometimes it's better to make a fresh start, but without losing everything, that is. Just long press on one of the tabs that are open and select Add Bookmarks for X number of tabs. This will create a folder on the home screen of Safari with all of the tabs you had open. Rename these whatever you want and you can revisit them anytime without clogging up your tabs. The next two tips are for the sneaky people among us. If you've ever given away your phone while showing a picture, you may have experienced severe stress or thought nothing of it. If you belong to that first group, make sure you select these photos and press the three dots in the right corner and select Hide. That will make sure the photos in question aren't shown in the regular library anymore and are now moved to the secret folder called Hidden. You will find this in the regular library under Albums and then at the bottom under Utilities. If you don't see it, just go to the settings, Photos, and then select Show Hidden Album. Now, whenever you give your phone away to someone, you won't have to worry because this album is locked with Face ID. But be aware, it can be unlocked with your phone password too, once Face ID failed. If you're done securing that, you might want to take a look at today's sponsor. Did you know that you have a 1 in 4 chance of falling victim to online crime? Last year alone, people in the USA lost over $10.3 billion to online crimes, with new scams emerging every day. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, and anyone who may want to target you. That's why you get those weird emails or emails that lure you into clicking on them. Your full name, email, home address, health records, and your relatives. It's all out there. That's why you should use Aura. Aura can pinpoint these data brokers and opt out on your behalf. Data brokers are legally required to remove your information, if you ask. But they make it as difficult as possible, and that's why you should let Aura handle this. But that's not all. Included in the package is a VPN. They do daily checks to see if your passwords are on the dark web. They offer 24/7 US-based fraud support, a password manager, parental control, antivirus, and even spam call protection. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, they offer a $1 million insurance policy to cover eligible losses and fees due to identity theft. You can go to aura.com/unfiltered to start your 2-week trial. Also linked in the description down below. Thank you Aura for supporting my channel. Now back to the video. In the vanilla Note app on iOS, you can lock notes. To do that, create a note. Then long press the note in question and select Lock Note. Make sure you actually lock it though by pressing this lock icon. It will be unlocked by pressing View Note and then successfully passing the Face ID scan. But once again, if that fails, you can enter the passcode too. And if you have iCloud syncing on, the notes might still not be safe. Oh, and if someone wants to delete this note, they will have to pass the security too. So it's safe in multiple ways. While we're in Notes, did you know that you can scan documents with this app too? Make a new note and then press on the camera icon and then select Scan Documents. You can then line up the document using your camera, but don't worry about it too much, since you can select the edges of it manually after taking the shot, so that the document is properly lined up. If you're satisfied with the end result, you can save, share, or look how it turned out. Much easier than downloading yet another app for this task. Now, if you go to Settings and then Notifications, you will see a lot of things you can play around with. Firstly, you can display notifications as count, stack, or list. You can also schedule a summary for if you don't want to get disturbed by every Black Friday email or Instagram reel sent to you. In this way, you'll receive a bundle of unimportant notifications at a time which you select. But what we're really here for is the Show Previews setting. This is what you will see if the iPhone is unlocked or locked. And if you don't like people snooping around your notifications or messages, make sure you set this to When Unlocked, so that when you receive a message or notification, only you can see the contents. While still in the settings, you can also visit Focus. And you might already use that for sleeping, working, etc. But did you know that you can customize your whole home screen with the widgets and everything per focus? For instance, you could make a gym focus with all the relevant apps and widgets right on your home screen. Or you could make a sleep focus and set that up with the essentials without too much distraction for when it's time to go to bed. This can be a very handy feature and one that isn't properly explained to you like most of these tips are today. And last but definitely not least is one of the most popular functions in the latest iOS versions. If you go to one of your favorite photos, like this one of my cat, and then press and hold on the cat, you can delete the background in one go. Now you've probably done this for ages already. Fair enough. But did you know that you can hold the cutout and then go to an app of choice while holding it to then paste it there and send it right away? And for my viewers who use WhatsApp, if you drag and drop it there, it will generate a sticker out of it, which can be very funny too. If you don't want the drag and drop though, you can press and hold and then let go for the sharing options to become available, like AirDrop for example. Now those were the tips for today. Do you have any tips you would like us to know about? Comment down below and I'll pin the best one. And if you aren't done watching videos just yet, maybe you're also interested in this video right here. You only have to click on it and I'll hope to see you there.